This is Mario once again with MI Microflight, and in this video I am going to be talking about how to fit a 4.1-3.5-4. This is made for a 4-inch rim. How to fit these into these hoverboard motors here, and that's the motor that I have. They're very similar. If you have something like this, you can do what I'm going to show you here. Now, there's another video of another gentleman that did a similar customization, if you will, to these hoverboard motors. Of course, you have to remove the tire, the solid tire, and there are plenty of videos, I believe, that they show you how to do that. So I'm not going to go too much into that because I've already done that, and I'm not going to go into the process of installing and removing it again. So once that original tire is removed, the solid tire, you have basically this aluminum hub. And in order not to ruin the motor from the insides, as you can see, I did drill some holes here because my original idea was to take this and mount this on just one of these hubs right here, like this hub right here, mounted. In fact, this is the hub that I think I modified, with these 4 holes here, or something similar. Actually, that's not the real one, because this one has three holes in a delta configuration because of this particular shape of this wheel, aluminum hub. And so, as you can see the windings. They're very close to the surface on the inside of this case here. So I don't want to go with bolts underneath in order not to risk messing up the enamel on the windings or shorting them out. So I decided not to do that. I did do, however, 3 holes from the outside here. These are more inside the aluminum. There's a thicker part inside this center hub right here that you can drill through and do what I did here. And I did that to mount these sprockets here. These are the sprockets that were mounted there with some spacers, and I had those mounted on this go-kart here. So I removed all that complexity that I had before with all these chains. In fact, that whole assembly right there has been removed, including these wheels, which are massive. These are massive wheels, and so there was a lot of mass, that these motors had to contend with, and so I was wearing out my batteries very soon, and it's just not an efficient way to do things. So I decided to revisit my this idea with fitting larger pneumatic tires on these brushless motors, and the fact that these are pneumatic also gives you a little more cushion, so I don't really need suspension there, as this will give me a little bit. This will absorb some of the bumps. So what I have done here is the other video that talks about this, the other gent that did a modification like that. He said he went and got 4.1/3.5-5, which is for a 5-inch rim. But try to find the tires, online, either through Amazon or Harbor Freight or any of those other places that sell tractor tires. It's like pulling teeth, because either they're very expensive if you find them. You're talking about anywhere from 25 to and up, for just a tire. And then you need the tube, to go along with that. So I spend, and I did this before in previous years, because my idea was kind of similar, to fit just the tube and the tire on this, but I didn't want to do what I had to do to these tires, and that's why I kind of bypassed in the past years and went with that setup right there, because I was trying to avoid doing what I'm going to show you here in this video, not finding the tires at a cost-effective price. Cost-effective, I'm talking about, you can buy these tires with the rims from Harbor Freight when they're on sale for about $10, $8, $10. So that's my maximum budget on this. I mean, I could spend a little more on some of these things, but I'm trying to work with budgets, so that if I do this and somebody else decides to do that, they're not allowed to to using the most expensive stuff or anything that's out there, at high cost. So the idea is to remain cost effective, and just frugal with these things, and get really creative. So what I did is, after pondering on whether to make that expense or not for just the tires with 5-inch rims, I decided, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to decide to see if I can cut this with a knife, and this is the knife that I'm using. It's got a brand new blade. The trick is a brand new blade, and so what I did is I measured the diameter of this guy right here. This is slightly the inside of this, meaning without this lip right here, it's about 5 inches, just a little bit over 5 inches, I think. And so if we cut these wheels or these tires, we cut the rubber, the inside rim. We're gonna assume that that inside rim is pretty concentric if you measure from the inside to the inside edge right there. So it's about 4 inches, which is right. And so what we need to remove is 1/2 inch around the perimeter of this tire. And so measuring 1/2 inch on the perimeter around to give us the 5-inch diameter, we're talking about we have to come in and cut on the inside of this, not this outside line right here, but on the inside of this line right here. So that'll give us a 5-inch, not on this one, but on this one right here. Okay, not on this one either, but on this one right here. So I can't stress that enough. If somebody wants to do that, make sure that it's exactly 5 inches, because if it's not going to fit properly here. It's not going to seal it. So I've already done that. I've taken my time. This was my first cut right here. As you can see, it's not really perfect, but the trick with this is to angle the blade, not go like this, because if you go vertically, you're gonna try to take out too much of a thickness, and it's going to be a little bit harder to cut. So what I did is I angled my blade almost maybe at 30 degrees. Kind of, you can probably go 45 degrees and just cut around this perimeter, and that way it gave me a much better cut, because as this angles inward, it tends to the material tends to be a little bit thinner on an angle, instead of cutting the whole thickness of that. Look how thick this is. This is about 3/16 in thickness. If we want to go vertical, they were talking about almost a 1/4 inch that you have to cut. But if we angle it, it lessens that thickness to about 1/8. And so angling this, taking my time, just rotating the wheel on this table and cutting it like this, and just rotating the wheel counterclockwise. I'm right-handed, and so this worked for me. Then, as you can see, the other side. Then, just to get this get this a little more cleaned up and more circular, because it is going to have because you're cutting almost line by line in tangents. You're not going to get a perfect cut unless you put this on a machine, on a lathe, or something that you can just shove a blade right through it, and it'll cut perfect. I try to do this on my lathe, but my lathe is not high enough from the bed to the center of the spindle to clear this wheel. I would have to remove the bed, and just attach that to the head, to the spindle head, in order to do this, and then come back, and kind of make some fixturing to hold the knife and just go in. I've cut foam wheels that way, smaller wheels, of course, that clears the bed, but this was not feasible on my lathe. Maybe on a bigger lathe, if you have a bigger lathe, you can do this nice and clean. But you take your time, you can do what I did here and just come back. And so that's how I cut away this 1/2 inch rim right here. And you can see it doesn't look like I did a circular cut straight, but it really, what matters is that you are inside this line right here, on this line right here, about 1/8 of an inch inside this line. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back now that I have this open, and I'm just going to clean it. And you can clean it basically by just running the blade gently around the edges right here. And so I've done already one wheel, and I wanted to capture this on video so that people can see how you can do this you know, using just a standard these are available. You can get these anywhere, and they're very, very inexpensive. 4.1 slash 3.5, and then 4 is the designation for the rim size or the hub size, the outer the outer diameter of the hub. So getting this in is going to take a little bit of oh, there we go. Okay, so you can see that how it went fairly easy there. And there's the other side. So now I have to press this. I have to fit the inner tube, and then once I fit the inner tube, I'm going to have to kind of press this. As you can see, I have about about that much, maybe about a quarter of an inch in distance before it engages on the inside of the hub underneath the lip. And so that should give this a nice seal once the inner tube's inserted. Now, to do the inner tube, there's another video of another guy. I think it's another guy that came in, and he actually drilled a hole here to get access to the filling valve here. And you know, that's kind of crazy, because first of all, you know, he's in my opinion, he's overworking. Although maybe, you know, he thought that was the best solution, or maybe he didn't think this through. But you know, drilling through here, now you risk ruining the inside of the case here, especially if you're trying to do a pocket here for this valve to come out. So what I saw on the first video that I saw, one guy that went and got some industrial tires, you know, he didn't cut the tire. He just went and got the tires with a proper inside diameter. What he did is he drilled a hole on the tire itself to bring out the filling valve, you know, from the side of the tire, and that way you don't have to drill or ruin this part right here. So that's what I'm going to do. You know, I rather if anything goes wrong, you know, with that tire or the valve, this is a much less expensive than this right here. Even though these hovercraft motors that I got them, you know, for dirt cheap. You know, it's an assembly. You know, you can find those. People don't want them. They can't charge the batteries, and so parents of kids that have these things, you know, they get rid of these things for fairly inexpensive cost. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drill a hole right here. I'm going to punch a hole through there. One thing I should say is do not use a jigsaw like that, or try to drill through rubber, because it won't work. This will kick you, you know, because rubber is it's got to be cut. It's got to be cut with a knife, and or the hole has to be punched with a sharp edge object. But do not drill through rubber. You know, it's not like drilling through steel or metal or even wood. Rubber will engage, and it'll try to kick because it's rubbery. You know, it's flexed. It's got a lot of flex to it, and so these tools do not work as they do with solid materials. Just a note of caution, and you know, and you find these things out by trial and error many times. You know, and sometimes it's very mild, issues, but sometimes it can get serious. You know, you can get hurt if you don't understand, you know, the properties of the materials that you're cutting, and then the tools that you're using for that. So use the proper tools. Even this is a little risky, cutting this, because you're working with a knife. But if you cut this like I just explained, you know, you cut it. Let me put this aside here. I'm about to cut this one right here, you know, and I'm gonna start at this edge right here. So I'm gonna go a little bit, maybe about a 16 inward from this line right here, because that line right there is exactly 5 inches if you measure the diameter. But I'm gonna go a little bit inside, and then that way I can trim back, you know, some of that. So if I push here, I can't do it right now because I'm holding my camera with my left hand. But if you just score it like that on an angle, you see that, not like this, not vertically like this, but on an angle like that, it'll cut right through, almost like butter, you know, with a sharp knife. So I'm gonna break this tip right here, because I already used that, and because this is one of those section type breakable knives. You know, you can do that. Unfortunately, this knife right here, you know, this knife right here, it's you know, I try using those blades on this one right here, this alpha, but this has a dedicated the peg that engages into the holes of the blades is much bigger than these, so it won't work. They have like a proprietary blades that they have to use. It's garbage, when you have to buy a stupid blade, just to have a proprietary blades that you have to buy. The same thing. It's bullcrap. So it's much better. You can get these blades anywhere. They're standard, and you can break the tip on that one. You can't break the tip. It's kind of stupid. All right, so that's how you do this. Mario once again with my microflight, and this is the continuation of this go-kart here that it's going to look so clean. I've already figured this out, how to do this. I spent a good day, just thinking about it. I went to sleep thinking about it. I couldn't sleep the other night, and I started drawing a little bracket on the computer. This is just 3D printed, just to give me the dimensions that I need for. This is going to be my fixture, so that I can drill the holes on my steel plates. There's my steel plate that I'm going to cut some steel brackets just to reinforce this section here, and it's going to be very similar to the way I did my other go-kart. I don't have it here, but the one with this tubing. So I'm going to use the same tubing right here. I mean, I hate to use different types of tubing. I want to remain exactly with these parts right here, but it's not very easy to do what I want to do here with the motors, the way I'm modifying them with the tires and everything. And the easiest way is just to use this right here. I already have a hole right in the center here from the pillow blocks that were here that I moved. I relocated them. So there's one underneath here. So I'm going to use that hole and put that bar either on top. I can view it in the bottom, depending how high or how low I want this rear section. So that's going to work beautifully right there. And because this is extended out a little bit, and I'm going to cut this again like I did for my other go-kart. This has a stop right here. Now I'm not removing this stopper, this lip right here. So I'm going to cut this clean like that, like I did my other one, and so that when I mount this on top like that with my brackets, it's going to have a stop right there. And it's not going to move, inward because of this stop right here, but it'll be nice and clean without this excess aluminum here. So that's going to look really cool, and so I think I've solved my problem. It takes a little thought sometimes, and just spending the time and revisiting things, and just sometimes biting the bullet, as they say, and just doing what I just did with this tire, what I'm explaining here. You got to do those things. If you can't get things, if you can't get the right item, you can certainly modify something like this, and I think it'll work beautifully there. So yeah, in these tires, I mean, look at the difference between that tire right there and the original one that has about maybe not even an inch, I don't think, of tire material. So this is going to be really, really, really cool, and it's going to look, it's not going to be as big as these right here. Those are 13 inch by 5 or as wide, but this is a 10-inch wheel, so this is going to match my front ones, and I think we're going to be good with this car right here. I'll save this for another project. All right, Mario once again with my microflight. Stay tuned for the continuation of this project that I'm so eager now and really pumped, now that I got this going. Stay tuned for more.